Mohan Vishwa, what happens now in the state? Of course it's politics. Of course it's elections now, anytime that's the state is set to face. But what do you now do as a party in the state? Because it's a split verdict. It's only going to continue as a legal matter. The ban for now stays as per the Karnataka High Court till a constitution bench is then appointed by the Chief Justice of India. How is the streets of Karnataka going to look like? Will the BJP ensure that there is no sort of either side violence erupting again?
See, similar things happened in the past also when we removed Article 370 or in the case of CA also. But the law and order isn't taken care properly across India. The similar thing happened in the state of Karnataka also. I don't think so, such kind of situation that as of now, since there is a split judgment, and the matter has been referred to Chief Justice to form the bigger bench. Till then, obviously, the rule of the land, the High Court judgment will continue. As our Education Minister told very clearly, till then, it will be a ban on hijab in schools across the state of Karnataka. So I hope, as we respect the judgment given by the Supreme Court as of now, the other side also, who are against it or who are far for it, both of them should respect the judgment. I don't think so any, law and order situation problem arises in the state of Karnataka. So we are equipped to tackle that. So nothing that kind of sort will happen.
All right, the one thing that one should appreciate the BJP government, since I'm from Karnataka, is that law and order situation is usually under control. And that's what we see in parts of Karnataka as well, when the protests erupted in different parts of coastal areas. Yes, we did see the opposition, or rather we saw a group that was condemning hijab come out on the streets on large scale, and there were violent protests that broke out, but it was quick. The Karnataka police were quick to actually douse those violent protests in no time. So we're looking at a positive approach there when it comes to law and order, as the police
but it's
have
also
been
the election
quite vigilant.
season.
Yeah, it's election season, but I'd really like to credit the government and the police, because they've really managed to maintain law and order. These protests could have really gone out of hand.
Absolutely.
It could have led to communal riots, which is what we're thankful today that hasn't happened. And that's why I'm saying great job by the government as well as the Karnataka police for handling that situation. But a quick word from Nalini, who's tracking court for us, joining us live. Nalini, if you can give us an understanding yet again what a split verdict really means, and was this anticipated? We did know more or less that there was going to be a split verdict coming in, but we weren't sure whether this was going to be contradictory or concurrent. Tell us a little more on Justice Gupta and Justice Dhulia's verdicts. Both of them now are basically in contradicting each other, which will now be presented to a higher bench, which will be again broken down in all its complexities. So we're hoping for another month or longer of this debate to go on.
Well, Nabila, it can be possibly longer, but the biggest takeaway that's coming from the Supreme Court today is that there is no stay on the hijab ban that was put in place by the Karnataka High Court, which means that the ban stays in place. The wearing of hijab will still not be allowed in the educational institutions in Karnataka. And at the same time, because the verdict is split, the matter will be referred to a three-judge bench. Now, who are going to be those three judges who are going to be part of this bench is something that's going to be decided by the CJI, which is why they've said that the petitions will be placed before the CJI to list the matter before an appropriate three-judge bench. It's not likely that the CJI himself will be a part of this bench, because there's less than a month left for him to retire from his post, after which Justice D.Y. Chandrachud will take over as the next Chief Justice of India. So it might be possible that the entire issue might get delayed till the 9th of November, when Justice Chandrachud takes oath as the 50th Chief Justice of India. But at the same time, like I told you, the biggest takeaway is that the status quo is maintained. The Karnataka High Court order very much stays in place, because the judgment from the Supreme Court is a split verdict, and now the matter will go through a three-judge bench. Now, what will happen when the matter goes through a three-judge bench? They will essentially be looking at two things. One, they'll be looking at as to whether or not the ban on hijab should be allowed to continue, or should it be set aside. And second, and the most important thing they'll be looking at, are the 11 questions that have been put in place by Justice Hemant Gupta, who upheld the Karnataka High Court order. He said that there are 11 questions that he's framed to consider as to whether or not this matter should in fact go to a 9-judge bench. The reason why Pooja and Nabila, they've talked about the matter going to a 9-judge bench is because the Sabrimala issue, if you remember, is currently pending before a 9-judge constitution bench. And there are a lot of overlapping issues between the Sabrimala case as well as this case, because both of them talk about what are the essential religious practices in a religion, and to what extent they impact impacts the fundamental rights of the citizens. So that is why he's raised the question as to whether or not the hijab ban should also go to a 9-judge bench, which will now be considered by a 3-judge bench. And in case they decide that yes, this is indeed fit to be placed before a 9-judge bench, then it can be even longer before we get a final verdict. So it's a long process.
It's an elaborate legal process. There's a protocol and procedure. So first the CGI appointed bench, a 3-judge bench will decide which other bench it will go to. Nalini Sharma breaking it down for us.
You know, I'm just saying that when the hijab protests broke out, it was Uttar Pradesh elections. Now when the verdict is come, briefly the split verdict, you have Karnataka elections coming in. By the time possibly the verdict comes out, we'll see 2024 Lok Sabha elections. So we're only hoping that this is not coloured by politics. But let me quickly cut across to Sagai Raj, who is joining us with one of the petitioners there to understand how she receives this news.
We are joining with one of the petitioner in hijab case, Mr. Hussain Wazir Bingre. Thank you so much for talking to India Today, sir. सर, आप जो वर्डिक्ट है सुप्रीम कोर्ट का वर्डिक्ट है हिजाब के ऊपर, उसको आप कैसे देखते हैं सर? स्प्लिट वर्डिक्ट आया है।
देखो, यहाँ पर जो सुप्रीम कोर्ट में बैठे हुए जजेस है, वो यहाँ के कानून का एकदम टॉप मोस्ट पोस्ट पे है और उनको सारी चीज पता है, यहाँ की संवैधानिक क्या क्या राइट्स होती है और उसमें फंडामेंटल्स राइट्स क्या होती है। इसके बारे में 2 ओपिनियन यहाँ पर ऑलरेडी 2 जजेसों ने डिस्क्लोज किया है, जिसमें जस्टिस दुलिया ने जो अपील्स थे उसको अपहोल्ड करके यहाँ के गवर्नमेंट ऑर्डर को रिजेक्ट किया है। हेमंत गुप्ता सर ने उसको अपील को रिजेक्ट करते हुए कुछ हमने 11 क्वेश्चंस था, उसको सब अपील्स के हमने आंसर दिया है, इतना ही बताया। लेकिन और कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल कुछ रेफरेंस इन्होंने नहीं दिया। इस वजह से हमें उम्मीद है कि यहाँ पर अभी चीफ जस्टिस ऑफ इंडिया के सामने हमारे जो बच्चे जो अपील डाले हैं वो गया है। हमें आशा है कि डेफिनेटली वो हमारे फेवर में, यहाँ के संविधान के फेवर में वो डिसीजन देंगे।
सर, अभी जो एक्सपेक्टेशंस आपके ये बॉडी के ऊपर देश इसके ऊपर वेट,
ये एक संतुष्ट क्या है, 50% पार्टली जो चीज है वो जो अपील के फेवर में आया। ये सेकेंड थिंग्स क्या है, जितने भी वहां पर बैठे हुए उनको ऐसा नहीं है कि उनको सब मालूम नहीं है, सब मालूम है। मालूम रहते हुए उन्होंने अपना ओपिनियन डिस्क्लोज किया है, उसको हम लोग रेस्पेक्ट करते हैं। अभी नेक्स्ट हम लोग चीफ जस्टिस के फेस देख रहे हैं, वहां से क्या कुछ आशादायक कुछ निर्णय आ सकता है।